ladies. I hope you guys are ready for this week. This week, we're going to be doing a lot of questioning, a lot of reflection, and this week is going to be called rejuvenation because this is where it's going to be a turning point for you and your closet. Now, you've already done parts one, preparation, and part two, the cleanse. And now we're going to kind of do the recovery slash rejuvenation. You have done some pretty good hard work of kind of facing your closet head on, getting everything out of there and cleaning it out. And now that you have sent off everything to their appropriate destinations, their final destinations, we now have to start asking our questions. And part of that is dissecting each pile. Now, just as a reminder, I asked you guys to write down what was your largest pile. And we're going to go into why that is important. Because your largest pile will be the best indicator of your buying habits, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about the clothes that you wear, and going forward, how you can change and or maintain that. Now, let's talk about this discard pile. Now, if this is your largest pile, you just simply have to ask yourself why. Why are you wearing clothes that should be discarded? Do you feel like you're worth it enough to dress better? You worth it enough to have a better sense of self? That you are worthy enough of having better clothes for yourself? It is okay if you say no right now. There is no judgment. You want to know why? Because self-love is a continual process that never ends. It is lifelong. Even the most confident people have their days, and we'll get to that in a second. But you need to question why this is your largest pile. If you feel like, oh, well, they're the most comfortable, just like last week, we need to redefine what comfortable means. Comfortable does not mean it's lesser in quality, does not mean that it's raggedy, that it's ill kept, that it's not beautiful, and it's not appropriate for every part of your life. I believe that whatever you wear, whatever is in your closet, should be appropriate to wear any and everywhere, no matter where you are. So if I wear something to work, I should be able to wear it to school. I should be able to wear it to church with a few tweaks here and there, but it should be versatile. That's part of the problem that pops up with a lot of people. They think, well, this stuff is only good to wear this, this, and this. Well, you're good enough to go all of those places, so the clothes that you wear should be also. The next question, did you realize you had discardable clothing? Why or why not? I have gone through this process one-on-one with a few women a few times, and to see their eyes when they realize that their discard pile is the biggest pile, some of them have cried, have broken down, have been tearful. Some of them have felt very sad. Sometimes that's the wake-up call, visually seeing how they view themselves or how they have treated themselves. Is enough for them to kind of take a step back and say, whoa, what have I been doing? And it's because when there are clothes that are not even worthy of wearing outside of your house, and that's the majority of what you wear, how are you limiting yourself? What is that saying about how you think about the clothes that you wear, about the way that you feel about yourself, your confidence? Where is that? And understanding, if you did realize that it was a lot of discardable clothes, why you would do that to yourself every day to choose discardable clothes, to choose clothes that are not their very best, that are not in the best condition. You need to question for yourself. Why do I not think that I'm good enough to have clothes that are of quality, that represent the best parts of me? And that goes into some pretty deep stuff. And it's okay if you feel sad. It's okay if you have to cry. It's okay if you have to ask these hard questions and receive hard answers for yourself. It is perfectly okay. What isn't okay is to repeat this. So you got to ask yourself these hard questions and understand that it's okay that you cleaned it out and you've already discarded those clothes, so you can't keep them anymore. You haven't kept them anymore. They're already gone. Because remember, after you put everything in their piles, they must immediately be put sent to their final destination. And a discard pile needs to be thrown in the trash or cut up into little squares so you can do things like clean your windows or repurpose it as little cloth bracelets or something. It just cannot stay in the same form that you have previously used it. And so the last question is, if you still want to keep a piece from the pile, is it for sentimental reasons? And this is why I say you can only keep two. So I kept the shirt that I mentioned to you guys from my godmother for years. But it wasn't until I did this process that I realized, hey, maybe I should just frame this. Maybe I should just keep it as a keepsake, but I should not let it take up space in my closet and let it take up space in my life. Shouldn't. So if you still want to keep onto some pieces of clothing, narrow it down to two, and that's it. You should only have two at this point. And if it's sentimental, ask yourself why. Does it remind you of a time when you loved yourself a little bit more? Does it remind you of a time where you felt a little better about your body and yourself? Did it remind you of a time where things were just a little bit better overall? If that's the case, then just ask yourself, what can I do to get there? What can I do to repeat those happy times? You can get those happy times again. Sometimes it's a little hard work, but clothes really do tell us more about ourselves than we realize. So that is the discard questions. Next, donate. So for the donate pile, it's not necessarily that they are of low quality. They may not fit your personal style or they may not fit your actual body. And fit is very important. Fit is paramount to everything. So the first question that you ask, if your donate pile is the largest pile, are most of the clothes too small or too big? If most of the clothes are too big, is it because of recent weight gain? Or is your weight constantly, you've been pretty constant, give or take 5 or 10 pounds, and, nothing just really ever fits. You've just been settling for what you see in front of you. If it's too big, have you lost weight? Or do you feel like you're dressing in these baggy clothes to kind of hide something that you don't want to show about yourself? Maybe you have a larger tummy. Maybe you have bigger thighs. Maybe you have a big butt and you just are tired of getting attention for it. So you're wearing big clothes that really don't fit and are not flattering, just to hide something. Newsflash, if either of these things are true for you, you are not hiding. You are, in fact, magnifying the thing that you want to hide. And that is because insecurity speaks louder than anything else. Feeling uncomfortable speaks louder than anything else. Any piece of clothing that you could ever wear. So if your clothes are too small or too big, you need to recalibrate either the way that you approach buying clothes or be truthful about your body and your body shape. Usually, if you have a larger tummy, things with a waist or with a banded waist are not going to be your friend unless they're umpire, which means right underneath the bust. So you have to start thinking about your actual body shape. And for you guys, you know what? I may add in the bonus of this just shop your shape little guide, and it will tell you some characteristics about your body if this donate pile is your largest power, even if you're not really sure of how to go about knowing if something should fit on your body. I'll add that in. So, I'll remember. That's your bonus for this week. So if your clothes are too small or too big, we need to reconfigure the way you think about your body and reconfigure the way that you buy clothes with respect to your body. So, second question, have you worn most of the clothes? If you have not worn most of the clothes, it goes back to the top one. We need to reconfigure the way that you shop. And part of doing that is asking yourself, does this fit my body? Is it going to be flattering to my shape? And does it fit my style? Is it going to be flattering to my personality? The bonuses from the previous weeks will help you determine that. And this freebie for this week, which is a shop your shape little, just short guide, is going to just touch bases on the very basics of body types. Now, I always say keep your measurements consistent, keep your measurements up to date so that you can know and notice the small changes in your body. If you have not worn most of the clothes because of the way that they fit or do not fit, then you need to really consider getting more information. And you can contact me, we can talk about that later, but just more information about what your body type is and what does that mean for you when you go shopping. For me, I am a pear-shaped woman. So I have A lot of dresses because I can do a flit and flare, or I can do a sheath dress, or I can do a looser fitting dress so that it not only fits to the top of my body, but it also accommodates my larger um, lower section, lower areas of my body without it being too complicated. I could just get a kind of larger size that accommodates the lower half of me, get it to a tailor, get something tailored for like $5, $10 because it will just need to be taken in at the waist. It's something simple like that that uh, helps me determine what I need to pick up or what I need to pay attention to when I shop. But that's about knowing my body and knowing what works and what doesn't work. So, the last question, if the clothes fit, would you be able to keep them? If the clothes fit, so if they fit your personality and if they would just be able to be taken in a few, would they be able to fit? Then that does mean that you're kind of on the right track. You're in the ballpark. You're not completely lost. You are not a lost cause. I don't think I say that enough to people. You are not a lost cause. Trust me. You can always turn it around. But if you could wear these clothes when they would be able to fit, that means that you have a kind of a better understanding of what your style is, but you may need to again revisit how things fit on you or become friends with a tailor and understanding that a tailor does not have to be expensive. I'll give you guys something, a little bonus, a little pro tip. What I would do when I was in college and I wanted something to be more tailored, I would go to the theater department. There are so many theater students who have to do a portfolio and have to do certain amounts of work. They have to hem things and show the before and after. They have to take in a waist and show before and after. And so, real world experience. Plus, you can say, okay, I can pay you a nominal fee and I can also give you a review of your work so that you can use it for your portfolio. You would not believe how many students will do that exchange. I've had some people who just want the before and after pictures and a review. I've had other people who only charge me like $5. It's just you know where to look. So look at the theater majors at your local school. Go to your local theater department and go to the costumer and ask her or him for referrals. You'll be surprised at how affordable it really can be. But even if it costs a little more than you expect, think about the investment. Having clothes that fit, having clothes that are meant for you because they fit your body specifically. And so those are some of the donate questions that I hope you guys are asking yourself if that's the largest pile. Donate means if your donate pile is the largest, that simply means you need to tweak some things. So next we go to the keep pile. So for the keep pile, do you wear all of these clothes frequently? So if you wear all the clothes frequently, that means you're pretty much on the right track. There may be some tweaking, like you may have to get some things, adjusted at the tailor. Like for me, I may have to get a couple of dresses taken in at the waist. Or if I wear separates, I want my silhouette to look a certain way. For certain shirts, I may get the hem, taken up, because I want a shorter shirt because I'm wearing something high waisted. Just those little things. So, do you wear them frequently enough to have them in your keep pile? Is this your largest pile? If this is your largest pile, you are really close. You are really close to where you need to be. You just need to reestablish one, what you define as flattering, what you define as comfortable, and not allowing those things in your closet that are going to end up in those other piles. So it's just about maintenance, and we'll talk about that next week. And maybe you just need a little rejuvenation seriously for your style. Sometimes we get in style ruts. When I find myself in a style rut, I go through this process and find, okay, I just need to be more creative with what I have. And again, we'll talk about that in week 4, but just be more creative with what I have. And we talked about this a little last week, just accessorizing, knowing, the potential that you have in your clothes, not just wearing them one way. It's not the clothes that make up your style. You make your style with the clothes that you wear because it's simply your personality. I cannot say that enough. Your style is simply your personality without saying words. You are wearing your personality every day that you get dressed. So, what are you saying? So, if this is your largest pile, you're on the right track. And if it's not, which pile is the largest? So, that it's pretty straightforward. The keep questions are not as in depth as the other ones because it really means that you are very close to the right track. You just might be in a style rut and you need to kind of rejuvenate some creativity back in your style. All right, the maybe pile. So this maybe pile, which I said is probably the hardest pile for a lot of you guys, it's okay. So the one question you can ask is, can the clothes be easily replaced? I will answer that for you. Yes. There are too many manufacturers out here. There are thousands upon thousands of stores, of manufacturers, of marketers, of all these clothing industry companies that will offer you 100 different versions of that one piece that you just kind of couldn't let go, but you had to. So understand that the options are out there. If you guys have not already, I think I've already posted it in here, but the 10 pieces, 20 looks, I take 10 pieces. 10 very basic pieces and create over 20 looks. That's almost a month's worth of clothing. And I could have kept uh, making those outfits if I wanted to. I just got tired of changing and taking pictures of that day. So I stopped somewhere around 20. So understanding that there is possibility in just a small amount of items and understanding that. So they can be easily replaced. Don't hold on to that black dress. How many black dresses are out there? Don't hold on to that pencil skirt. How many pencil skirts are out there? Don't hold on to that blazer. How many blazers are out there? So many. So they can be easily replaced. Next, have you worn them recently or is it a part of a goal in the future? Now, this maybe usually stems from either you're losing weight, you're gaining weight, or you're trying to recalibrate your style and recalibrate the clothes that you want. You want a little bit more for your closet. So, you realize that there may be something that you need to do, but you just keep on to these clothes for no other reason because in the future, well, in due time, or maybe A, B, and C will happen if I A, B, and C. But those things haven't happened yet. You need to live on the what is instead of the what ifs because what if will have you in perpetual almost. What if allows you to be an almost, and almost seems really nice. Almost is kind of like, oh, it's a pat on the back, you're almost there, but it's not really calling you to be active in your own progress, in your own growth. And you know me, I'm emerald girl, so everything is green. It's about growth, about abundance. Abundance does not lie within the what ifs. Abundance does not lie within almost. It doesn't. And so you have to change that narrative for yourself. If you're trying to lose weight, you still have a body that you have to dress. Trying to lose weight, are losing weight, did lose weight, you still have a body that you have to dress every day. You still have that job, you still have that business, you still have that church, you still have these activities, you still have to go to your kid's soccer game. You still have these things. It's like you cannot keep clothes for a body that you can't dress right now. You have to keep clothes for the body that you have now. You can't dress the body 50 pounds from now. You can always replace those when you get that 50 pounds off. You can always replace it when you really define your style. It's about living in the now. What is your reality not right now? Not what could be your reality if a couple of months and a couple of pounds and a couple of situations right now. Last question. Is the piece more formal than casual? So, is the piece more formal than casual? I know sometimes people put things in a maybe pile because they don't wear it as often because it's a formal gown. These kind of have different rules. Although I have been known to wear a formal gown in the grocery store to pick up something. You don't have to be like me. Most people are not like me. They will not wear a formal gown to go pick up something from the grocery store. And that's okay. But if you have formal pieces, those have a different set of rules. So would this be a go-to or would this be a staple if you had something to go to wear it to? Or did you just buy it because it was a last minute emergency, like, oh, this Easter program and I had to have something white. And so that's the only reason why it's here. If that's the reason, let it go. Because that then is just settling for what is there at the moment, and that moment has passed, and you need to set a new standard. So that's why formal wear has a few different rules, because you don't wear them as often. So I would say 3 out of the 4 piles, their issues and their problems stem with confidence. And so the second half of this, because it's going to be a little longer, the second half of this talk is going to be all about confidence, because you have to understand, if you are truly confident, if you truly love yourself, if you truly want the best for yourself, you will not accept anything less, and that includes from your own self. Oftentimes, I hear people, who talk about, well, if I can only be this, if I can only do that. You can do it all. You can have it all. You can be it all. And you can do all of that dressed impeccably when you have the confidence and sense of self and self love to match. It's more than just putting on the hottest labels. It's more than just getting something that was a great deal from the thrift store. It is more than the value that you are placing on the clothes. It is the value that you place on yourself. That is what confidence is, placing a high value on yourself to the point that you don't accept clothes that have these unintentional holes, rips, stains, and tears. But I'm jumping a bit ahead of myself. Just know that the root of all of these issues is confidence and self awareness. Just like if you were very confident about where $1 million was, you'll be very confident about going and getting it before anybody else did. If you were very confident that you could get a shopping spree if you met a person at a certain place at a certain time, you'll be very certain to show up because you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there's value at the end of this action. So, when you get dressed every day, when you look at yourself every day, when you talk about yourself every day, when you are discussing and thinking about yourself, you're always processing the very best. There is no mediocre. There is no substandard. There is always a high standard for yourself. And that's why there are a few principles for the stylista in training that always apply to help you build your confidence. Now, after realizing I have a lot of things in a discard pile, I have a lot of things in a donate pile, that means there's a disconnect. Making that bridge to connecting between the you that you are now to the you that you want to be. And so, I just have a few tidbits. Confidence does not live in comparison. This goes one of two ways. Confidence does not live in you comparing yourself to another person as to how they are better than you. Because a lot of times you don't know what that person had to go through to get to that stage where they are as fabulous as you think they are. And you also don't know if that person is even as confident as you think they are. You never really know someone's story or the journey that it took to get to that place. And so, for that reason, you have to understand, guys, that it's important to not compare. Comparison is futile because to compare, you're never coming from a place of really understanding. You're coming from a place to either put yourself down or put the other person down. And that goes to the other way. So by saying, oh, well, at least I don't look like her. Oh, well, at least I'm not sloppy like her. I'm not the best, but at least I'm not this. That person's journey also has nothing to do with your journey, also has nothing to do with you. And that person, the way they are, they may be going through some things. They may need help and they may not be getting it. Or it's simply that person's version of what style is to her may be completely different from yours. It may just not be your cup of tea. That's okay. But comparing or contrasting with other people to see who's better and why they're better is not going to make you feel any better. It's not going to help you feel more confident. It always takes away. And the energy that you spent comparing could be the energy that you can put into yourself to bring yourself to the point where you've always wanted to be. That's in life, that's in style, that's in fashion, that's in everything. So, understanding these things are important to your success in life and definitely in style, because that's what we're talking about here. But comparison, you can't get any confidence by comparing yourself to someone else. It never has happened, it never will happen. Next, confidence is not exclusive, constant, positive affirmation. So, let me break this down. We are now in an age where it's like think positive, be positive, do positive, have positive, and it's always about positive, positive, positive. Now, I'm not telling you to be a Oscar the Grouch. I'm not telling you to be an Eeyore. I'm not telling you to not be positive or to not think positive things. But so often we tell people to how to deal with the positive and how to create the positive that we don't tell them how to deal with the negative. As a human being, you're going to have ups and downs. Even the most confident person, like myself, has days where she does not feel her prettiest. But true confidence knows that those days are always going to come. As long as you are living and breathing, you are going to have days where you do not feel 100%. You do not feel your prettiest. You do not feel your most stylish. You're going to feel like, I gained like 20, 30 pounds overnight. Why does my body feel so different? It's okay. Those things are going to happen, but confidence knows that it's just one of those things you have to go through, and it doesn't take away from how fabulous you are. Just this past week, I did not feel pretty for a lot of the days this week. It was hot. I'm still trying to get used to Florida. I'm still trying to get used to me in a new place with a new life, with a new situation. And so I'm like, I didn't feel my prettiest, but you still couldn't tell me I wasn't fabulous. You still couldn't tell me that I wasn't awesome. It's because my confidence on the positive days is so strong that even in the negative days, I'm like, okay, I'm not having my best day. I'm not feeling my best, but I'm still cute. I'm not feeling my best, but it's just one of those things that people go through. And understanding that is going to help you appreciate the positive more. You cannot have the rainbow without the rain. You can't. And so you cannot have this strong sense of self if you don't understand, hey, I understand these things about me. I understand that I'm not confident all the time. But even those times that I'm not confident, I know at the end of the day that I'm still beautiful. I may not feel as beautiful as I want to. I'm still beautiful. I may not feel as confident as I want to. I'm still confident. I may not feel like I'm being as much of a woman, however you define that, as I could, or I'm not being the best part of myself, but I am still me. That doesn't take away from you as a beautiful woman, as a beautiful human being who deserves to feel validated, who deserves to feel worthy of the absolute best, and who deserves the best constantly. So that's my little spiel. I'm not gonna get too much into it. But just know it's not always about the positive. You have to embrace that there are going to be some days that you don't feel your best. And oftentimes we set ourselves and other people around us up for failure when we just focus on, well, accept the positive, create the positive. It's not always going to be positive. Life is not always going to be sunshine. Life is not always going to be sunny days. It's those days when it's rainy. It's those days where it's cloudy. It's those days where you don't feel your best. That true confidence shows up and shows out on your behalf. It's like this week I didn't feel my cutest, but if somebody were to call me not cute, I'm like, psh, please. And so that's because of the confidence. So confidence comes, but it never goes. It never goes. Confidence comes, but it never goes. True confidence, that is. So we have to embrace that everything is not going to be positive, but that's okay. It's okay. It's as long as you don't fester in those things, as long as you don't ferment in that negativity. That's the key. It's about understanding, why do I feel this way? Am I defining how beautiful I am by how beautiful other people are telling me I am? If so, you know what? Part of my confidence is to be more self motivated. It's those little things that you need to focus on. And last but certainly not least, confidence can be communicated without words. Now, I wanted to show you guys in this image on the bottom right, you will see there are two images with three different pictures. So, confidence can be communicated without words. That's pretty much what style is. That's pretty much what happens when you get dressed. You are telling the world and yourself exactly what you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself. And so it can all be communicated without words because it is every day that you get dressed. And I use two varying examples of this. So I use Coco Chanel, who's on the left in that black, as classic and as iconic as she is. And I use Alexander McQueen, which is on the right. These two pictures of these very avant garde, very almost to most people outlandish pieces of art almost. And both of these people embraced confidence in different ways and they showed it in different ways. Coco Chanel is known for being classic and elegant and very simplistic in her style and simplistic in the way that she expressed herself. And she has so many different quotes about fashion and style and, what it means to be confident. And we all revere her. She's iconic. She is known today. Her legacy is just being simplistic and straightforward and unapologetic about the person that you are. Alexander McQueen, which is on the right here, with his designs, he really took that and he applied it to himself in a different way. And in a different way that he applied it to his fashion designs. He was all about the artistic, extravagant, avant garde, celebrating colors, celebrating diversity of textures and different tastes. And it was never, ever something that was stereotypically simple. Although this to him was very simple, it was very foundational in a way that he could replicate it season after season with his designs, the way that Coco Chanel did. But it's two different versions of the same thing, confidence. And their confidence never wavered just because it was a little different. Both of them were different in the time that they lived and designed. It never took away from what they thought was beautiful and them standing in it and standing by it season after season with designing clothes. And so I want you guys to understand that for yourself. Confidence can be communicated without words. You should be able to sense the confidence off of yourself when you walk into a room, when you walk out of the room, when you get up in the morning. We have all been in a room where we're all talking and there's this person with this big confident aura. They don't even say a word. They just strut right on in and everyone's turning around. Oh, wow. Look at them. And it may not even be that they're dressed extravagantly. It's just the aura that they have, the confidence, the energy, the spirit about them is very confident to a point where it cannot be ignored. You should want that for yourself because you should know how much of a gem you actually are. You are a precious gem. You cannot be duplicated. You can't even be imitated. So understanding the power of individuality is your key to changing your style. And so I know this was a little longer, but I just want you guys to understand how important it is to understand each of these piles and what it may mean, and understanding how to build your confidence. It's a part of having affirmations for yourself. I am beautiful. I am bold. I am simple. I am complex. I am outlandish. I am very demure. Whatever it is, own it and own it unapologetically. That's what makes you you, and that is the key to you unlocking your own potential, your own success, your own confidence, and your own style. So I'm going to leave this in the group, and I'm also going to upload your bonus sometime today, but I cannot wait to talk to you guys in a few hours. Thank you guys for listening to this and taking notes. Take notes, take plenty of notes to remind yourself of all the information that was in this week's lesson. And I'll speak to you guys very soon. Bye.